Well, welcome back to an Isaiah That's the Conversation. This is the first episode I have done in several months, and that's because I couldn't decide where to take the podcast. Now, I have decided that instead of doing interview style podcast, I'm going to shift to a more individual style podcast where I focus on things that I find interesting. I dive into the topics. Maybe I'll cover things that happen in the day, and I'm going to try to do it daily. Well, every weekday. So, let's begin the episode. Today, per request from a good friend of mine, I'm going to be speaking on colorism. Now, the Oxford Dictionary defines colorism as such. I'll read it to you from here. Prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a darker skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. So this is basically the preference for, or the disliking of, the preference for lighter skinned black people in the black community. So I'm going to try to see what the problem is, identify the problem. Then I'm going to try to go to the roots. Then I'm going to look at the symptoms. And then I'm going to try to find a solution. So let's go to the problems. Okay, so we commonly see this stereotype in cinema, right? So you'll see black people portrayed as secondary characters or not as beautiful as the main character. You also see this in India, where they have Bollywood stars. Indian people, their skin tones vary, right? So you have very light-skinned Indian people and you have very dark-skinned Indian people. But the only people they portray as being glamorous or amazing are the lighter skinned Indian people. Sometimes, even especially in the older Bollywood clips, they would actually have Caucasian people in the back, which, that is what it is. But yeah, you see this everywhere. You even see it in my girl would be so mad at me. It was this show Penny Proud. It had Penny Proud in it, right? She's light skinned, she's the main character, and her sidekick friend is the dark skin, right? So those are just a couple examples of the problem that you see with it, right? So, I wanted to mention, this is also directed more towards women in the sense that the stereotype is the beauty aspect of it, right? So, darker skinned women will be perceived as though they are less attractive. At least this is the theory, that they are perceived less attractive by society because of the skin tone. Men also face the stereotype in that they're scarier, this and that, more likely to be a felon, this and that. So you get the idea. So now I want to delve into the roots of why this is the case. Many would say it originates from the Eurocentric perception that the Eurocentric perception of what beauty is, right? This is partially true, and I'll explain what I mean by that. It's deeper than that. Not only is it Eurocentric, this started in ancient Egypt, guys. Right, so let me explain my reasoning. So, what happens when we go in the sun? Our skin gets darker. You could be the whitest person in the world, and if you spend every day, you see them at the beach. You see these white people at the beach. Their hair is bleached from the sun, and they look like Aboriginal people from Australia. That's how dark they get, and it's crazy. But when you're in the sun, your skin is gonna get darker. So let me explain what I'm alluding to with that. When you work outside, your skin is gonna get darker, right? The slaves in Egypt worked outside all day. Their skin was much darker than the royalty that stayed inside because they were of high status. You see this trend all throughout history. People of lower class work outside and their skin is darker. This is before the white people and the black people even met, right? Because you have to remember, travel wasn't as global as it is now, right? So people were secluded. When the white people, and this is my theory, of course, when the white people saw the black people, that same thinking was in their head. They're thinking, oh, they're black. They're lower class. They're lower class. So we're going to exploit them because they're lower class. Right? So I think that even is the root of racism. Now, if you extrapolate that to colorism within an individual community, in this case, the black community, I don't know if this is subconscious. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's related to that. It's my theory that it is. So that's the roots. Now let's go to the symptoms. So here's where we get the destruction of a culture. You see the dislike of traditionally black characteristics, the move away from natural hair, the move away from natural noses, getting nose jobs is sick. And wigs, and you can wear a wig, it doesn't matter. But the aesthetic is straight hair. That's what a person is going for when they wear a wig, right? If the wig obviously is straight, which it commonly is. So the beauty standard that they're trying to achieve is quite Caucasian, which is strange. But that's what that has brought about. Colorism is pushing traditionally black characteristics to the wayside as though they're not beautiful, and amplifying Caucasian characteristics. So I think I have a solution. So my solution is this: don't make your identity about your skin color. This has caused all of the racism, the Ku Klux Klans of them all, the Aryan races of them all, Hitler, right? So identifying with the color of your skin as a important part of your personality, or your identity, I should say. It shouldn't be something that you focus on regarding your identity, because you can't change it. It's an immutable characteristic. I think that people should focus on things about them that they can control. Let that be your identity. Let the fact that you're smart, or even the fact maybe that you're beautiful, or your work ethic, let that be your identity. Don't let your skin color be your identity. Let the fact that you work hard, let it stand out. Let it speak for yourself. And because we focus on these things like color, people get angry. People get this bottled up aggression, and they get pissed, and they're like, you know what? I'm not getting treated the way I should because of my skin color. So now I'm going to resort to other people who will feel the same way as me, and I'm going to go be upset about it. That's not going to move you forward. That's not going to move anybody forward. It does nothing. What does move the world forward is when you set aside those things. When you say, you don't think I'm beautiful. That's your opinion. Why should that matter to me? You can't tell me I'm not smart. Play me in chess right now. See if I don't beat you. That should be the thinking there. People in life, some people are not going to find you pretty. Some people are. Some people are not going to think you're handsome. Some people are. Find the people that do. Find the people that agree with you and disagree with you. Debate people. Grow. Don't get stuck on these things that don't matter.